Okay, we're in a side-lying position now, and if you take a look, you can probably kind of guess where the areas of discomfort and areas that might be at risk of breakdown exist. So if we're doing short-term positioning for a treatment, full side lying might be an okay position. But if he's going to be in this position for a prolonged positioning, we would want to go into a 3/4 side lying position, and that would help to alleviate pressure on the shoulder and pressure on the greater trochanter by rolling him back and off of those bony prominences. So let's look at straight side lying first, and then I'll take Scott into a 3/4 side lying position. So Scott has very broad shoulders. He's a trombonist, so his chest is quite expansive. And we want to support the neck and the head to reduce the strain on the right side of the neck. We want to support his cervical spine in a neutral position, his head in a anatomical neutral position as well. So I'm going to have you lift your head up, Scott. Come on down. Okay. How does that feel?
It feels okay. I feel like I'm going to fall back that direction.
Well, I'm not done yet
Okay.
with you yet.
All right.
So hopefully you won't feel that way when we get done.
Okay.
So we've got the head in a good position. So the next thing I want to do is you notice that his pelvis is rotated back, and that's where he feels like he wants to roll back. So we're going to deal with the pelvis, and we're going to do that with using pillows between the knees. How does that feel? You still feel like you're rolling back a little?
No.
Okay. So what I did was I flexed his knee and hip a little bit to give some leverage and pull him forward so that he doesn't feel like he's rolling backwards now. So if I wanted to expose his hip for treatment, one way I might do that. Don't worry, Scott, I'm not going to pull your pants down in front of everybody. But let's say you wanted to get to that hip to provide an ultrasound treatment or do some soft tissue work, put some electrodes on, do some special tests or some palpation. I would take a pillow and, a towel and cover him so that he feels like he's not exposed. And then I'm going to tuck that into his pants and his underwear, and I would have him loosen his pants so that I could then just pull that down to get the amount of exposure that I need. You don't want to expose too much, just enough so that you can get to the area you need to get to. And all the while you're asking permission. Is it okay if I do this? And you're telling them what you're going to do. Okay, I'm going to tuck this into your underwear. And next I'm going to pull this down just to expose enough so that I can get to the area that I want to I want to examine or I want to treat. The other area of concern for me and for Scott is this shoulder and this arm, because you can see how it's kind of dragging down on him and actually kind of pulling him forward a little bit. So I would have a pillow, again for short-term positioning. I would have a pillow right there. And I can push him around a little bit and see if he's going to come back to neutral here. How do you feel at this point?
Good. It's good.
Any areas that feel like they might start hurting if in the next 20 minutes or so?
Well, my left shoulder probably.
Left shoulder. Okay. So that brings to mind 3/4 sideline. This shoulder?
Left.
If you're going to be a physical therapist, you cannot know right from left.
The one that's touching the bed.
The one that's touching the bed. Okay? So Scott, this may not be an optimal position for Scott if you were going to have to provide like a 20-minute, 30-minute treatment. He may come out of this with left shoulder pain when what he came in with was right hip pain. So I'm going to go ahead and move into a 3/4 sidelying position now. That will take him off of his left shoulder, and it will take the pressure off of his left greater trochanter as well. So in order to do that, I want to provide some posterior support so that it's kind of like you're building up the bed so that you can roll him back and he feels supported along his back. So first I'm going to have him roll this way just a little bit, and I'm going to get this towel out of here is what I'm going to do. Okay, I'm going to tuck that pillow down and underneath him.